I am very pleased to read for you a new episode from Maxwell Conroe's Harlequin stories, titled Mount Olympus. One night, while Maxwell was writing, still at his lodgings in Sparta, a mysterious woman appeared. She was beautiful, with long flowing hair and piercing green eyes.
I am Aphrodite, and I have come to talk to you about your work.
Maxwell was taken aback. He had seen many apparitions before and had become increasingly cautious to believe such visions, so he spoke up for himself. "How can I trust you? You may just be," he stammered, "another whimsical manifestation of my crazy propensity for daydreaming. I also suffer from an extreme form of Freud's Electra complex, caused by a psychological trauma in the past. So there you go, what do you want from me?"
Fear not, my dear writer. Athena and I are both very pleased with your work. In fact, she has requested that you join me and that we travel tonight to meet her in her temple on Mount Olympus. I believe she wants to inform you about her wishes.
Maxwell was overjoyed, feeling this was the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to resolve all issues. He duly followed Aphrodite to the top of Mount Olympus.
Giggles, giggles. Hey narrator, Adeline, I remind you. Please do not let my beloved writer alone for a second with any other woman, and certainly not with that seductress Aphrodite. How dare you let her come close to him? Remember that if anything were to happen that breaks my bond with Maxwell, I'll have you killed right away. Giggles, giggles.
Maxwell and Aphrodite, after their nightly trip, finally entered Athena's temple. They were greeted by the goddess herself, her bright eyes fixed on him, Maxwell. Athena looked around the room, simply reasserting to all present was a divine presence who wished to create a sense of ease in the room. Then she solemnly spoke, addressing Maxwell.
Thank you for being here, Maxwell, on such short notice. We know how much Electra and her family tragedy mean to you. My beloved Aunt Aphrodite, daughter of my great-grandfather Uranus, has been incredibly generous when she volunteered to fetch you from Sparta. By now please realize you have our full attention. Father Demetrius has also been forthcoming and he pleaded to us for your success in this mission. We are sympathetic to your cause.
While Athena spoke, it seemed Aphrodite had already disappeared. But another figure emerged from the background. It was Father Demetrius. With 3 steps he was at Athena's side. And he handed her a scroll. "Hey! I thank you all for this opportunity. I hope to hear from you how justice can be served to the ancient history of the great city of Sparta. Let us revive Agamemnon and his family and change the course of history."
Maxwell, please be aware, you cannot just change haphazardly the course of history, not even as a writer. For example, many things related to the Troy War cannot be undone. This was a period when the Olympian gods were deeply divided. As you know, I presided over the warring factions. But my sympathy at the time lay at the side of the Achaeans, simply because the Trojans were supported by my brothers, Apollo and Ares, who were siding with Aphrodite's cause. She would stick with Paris, who had given her the golden apple. My own sister, Artemis, also was leaning towards support for the Trojan cause. The old feud about the apple meant Hera was with me in providing favorable opinion to the Achaeans. And Hephaestus and Heracles also were with us, but that was pretty much it. And Zeus had already told me he does not want to see history rewritten. This is divine consensus on that sensitive subject.
But Electra, how did she end up being still alive and well today?
I think the answer to that question can best be addressed by Adeline herself in due time. Maxwell, perhaps history is not all what it seems. You see, when Iphigenia went in hiding to not attract the attention to the fact that her father Agamemnon had defied the requests of Artemis to sacrifice his daughter, she was kindly immortalized by my father Zeus, and she has lived on as Hecate ever since. I believe you already ran into Hecate, didn't you? We have decided, Hecate, who has excellent rapport with the fates, will help you sort out what needs to be sorted out.
As Athena spoke the words, another figure arose from the background and came forward, nose standing next to Athena. This was Hecate. Maxwell recognized her instantly, just like the other day when she had saved from the ire of the mob in Sparta. But Athena indicated with a hand gesture that Father Demetrius should speak first, and she handed him back the scroll he had given her earlier. "This scroll is about your fate, Maxwell. Such a scroll exists for every mortal human, and it is normally concealed in the registry of the fates, Moirai. Over the eons, these three daughters of the night, Nyx, have determined our destiny while spinning the thread of life. Clotho diligently does all the spinning, and then Lachesis measures out our lifespan. And when our time is up, the third sister, Atropos, cuts our life short. The scrolls from their registry represent the chronicles of the fates, which provide a reliable record of time and history. As Father Demetrius spoke, Athena nodded several times as to ascertain what the priest said was correct. Perhaps I should explain, Maxwell. After your visit to me, I made some inquiries. I was advised to visit the oracle in Delphi. It was there that I was told that there was a great deal of discussion about your scroll. You can imagine the registry of the fates guards its library of scrolls very conscientiously. Nothing untoward should ever happen to it, no fire, no floods, no thefts. The utmost effort is spared such as to ensure nothing can interfere with the course of time. The accomplishments of our destiny is overseen by the fates, they make sure of that. But occasionally and very rarely, indeed, files need to be revised. There are some instances where even Lachesis gets tired and makes a mistake. Yes, erroneous decisions occasionally occur in the measuring out of the tapestry of our life. Then a review process will be initiated to try correct any flaws in the system. And as I was mentioning, it seems your scroll is presently under review. Maxwell was taken aback by his words. What do you mean? He asked. Let me explain. This is nothing threatening. The review process often is initiated when the protagonist claims to have unearthed evidence that may alter the course of history, literally, by shedding new light on past events. It seems, Maxwell, your plan is just that. And that is why your personal file in the registry of the fates is now being reviewed.
Now Athena filled everyone in about the authority and mandate of her fates. On my behest, the fates leave nothing to chance. Everything is predetermined. But as Father Demetrius correctly pointed out, when for some reason the chronicles need a small revision, the fates take that very seriously. So your file is actually reviewed in this context. There is just one more thing. The fates are not usually very forthcoming when corrections to their chronicles need to be made. So it usually will mean that Atropos will bring out the shears to close your file for good. She will snap the scissors to complete your file and have you fates sealed for posterity. No mortal can ever directly appeal to or speak with the folks of the registry. That's why we asked Father Demetrius to convey the message to you.
Now Father Demetrius took the scroll and spoke while handing the scroll over to Maxwell. This scroll, by the way, is your record of life. You have been given carte blanche to enter new details about what's part of the historical record should be changed. I have been asked to return the amended scroll within fortnight. Almost before Father Demetrius had finished his sentence, Hecate spoke to Maxwell.
Maxwell, we have only 2 weeks to complete and return your scroll. We should not make things too difficult for any of us. I am on your site and will help you.
That's wonderful, a divine blessing, and not even in disguise. There are 2 things I want to accomplish. Firstly, I want to help Adeline find peace of mind. Secondly, I do not know what is the psychological trauma that Dr. Freud said lies at the base of my obsession with this whole story. Please help me solve both riddles.
Maxwell, that sounds reasonable to me. Let's work it out. My proposal is we ask Adeline to join us shortly. The 3 of us should be able to come up with sensible solutions.
Adeline and Hecate were locked in a silent embrace with tears of joy coming down their cheeks. There was only silence. They needed time to heal their mutual pain. And for a long time, a very long time, silence prevailed. Finally, after some time, Adeline addressed Maxwell.
Giggles, Maxwell, thank you for making all of this possible. Without you, none of this would have happened. You took the effort to bring our family tragedy into the limelight. Only reluctantly would Athena be brought to the table to help us turn a page. Giggle, let's turn some pages and close the book, so to say. Giggles, but Maxwell, relax, I will not let them use us as pawns in a senseless war. Giggles.
What do you mean? Maxwell asked her. Adeline explained that she had been used as a political pawn her entire life, first by her father, King Agamemnon, and then by Athena. She had grown tired of being manipulated and controlled by others who try engage her only to advance their own interests.
Giggles, giggles, do you care for me and my family's fate? Giggles, giggles.
Of course, I do, and I will never sacrifice my own principles and dignity for any god's sake. There must be another smart way to end this conflict. Maxwell's mind was racing with ideas. Now was the time to unveil his weapon, the power of words and storytelling. For weeks on end, Maxwell worked tirelessly on his manuscript, pouring his heart and soul into every word. At first, he had struggled to find a way to reconcile the conflicting messages of Athena and Aphrodite. But now everything started to fall into place.